know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. I'm the son of a plumber. I was raised in Austin, Texas, and I never had anything unless I fought for it, unless I scratched for it, unless I got down on my knees and went for it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another night of the Chem Valley Show here on, we're just going live on Facebook tonight. I'm going to upload the video later on our YouTube channel, so you can check it out on there. Check out our YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe. Thanks, everybody, so much for the support so far. After watching that video, I feel like going downstairs and punching my punching bag because back when my friend Cory sent me that a few months ago before they were releasing their single, I remember just being absolutely blown away by it because I'm a huge wrestling fan, and he sent me that promo, and it was absolutely incredible. And joining me today on my show, I'm really looking forward to talking to him because he's a good friend of mine. Last year around this time, we were it was close to this time anyways, we were heading down to Toronto for a wrestling show, and Cory James Mitchell is joining me now. I'm going to stop talking so he can come on and talk with me. Cory, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. It's great to have you on, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. How have things been going?
You know, things have been good, man. Just wrapping up the holidays here and kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the next 28 days of my life on lockdown. But thanks for having me on, man. It's good to see you. How you been?
Good, man. I can't complain at all. How are the holidays? Good?
Yeah, they were good. Quiet.
I gotta say, nice. I love the song you guys released. I also love this picture you posted a couple days back. It was a great holiday picture. I'm sure you'll remember it forever.
Oh yeah. You know what I was just saying to Cassandra today? I'm like, that's probably my favorite picture. Me and Otis out, actually right here where we're sitting, singing. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. And I do have to say that's an incredible background.
Yeah, you like this, eh? Huh?
Oh yeah, I knew having you on the show, you'd have to up me on my beautiful setup.
Yeah, look at you have a pig with a cowboy hat on.
Oh, perfect. That beautiful Hogan figure.
Yeah,
the Holy Grail. Let's start off with talking a little bit about how we met, because I was trying to think about this today, and we were talking a little bit about this before the show. But was it just at the station, out of the shows, or? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure, and you brought it up. The first time we met was when I got a chance to open up for Miles Goodwin for the first time from April Wine at the station, and I remember it was cool because that was I think I opened up for a couple buddies of mine a few times, and then you guys asked me to open up for April Wine. That was like the first show that I ever performed. Where people bought tickets and were seated and there to watch a show. And it happened so early on that was kind of the spark that really kicked everything off for me. So I think that was, the first night we met. And then I remember when I really got to know you was the night, I'm trying to think what their names were. They're a rock band from BC. I think you brought them in.
Yeah, so I think it was the night of a wrestling show, which I don't even think you weren't like, you were a wrestling fan when you were a kid, but I don't think you really. When did you get back into wrestling, like watching it again? Because were you into it that night? Like, were you?
I probably around 2002 stopped watching wrestling, and then I'd go to live shows every once in a while though, because my brother always religiously watched it. So we go to like an old TNA show or even WWE when I come to London, and so that night I remember you guys I was the. Right after the show, I went on kind of as an interlude to keep kind of the ball rolling until the band came on after me. And it was great. My parents came out. My brother came, watched the wrestling match. my mom got a beer thrown at her by one of the wrestlers, which
Oh no.
oh yeah, it was the best. Then I got to play, and that, like I said, I really didn't play too many local shows. That was kind of when I was really kicking off. So to be able to get opportunities to play like actual shows and do cool stuff. And then I remember the wrestlers were doing some flying elbows and that off the stage. It was just a great night.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was the Sons of Kent after party, which my friend Jay Smith actually helped me set that up. And I think he was someone I was just gonna run into that because I know after that you and him had a radio interview as you were kind of getting into music, right?
Yeah, well, that's there's Jay and the guys down at 99.1 in Wallaceburg. That's I tell to everyone, even like any emerging artist that I hear that's coming up in the area, that I think has some wheels and I like their music. I always turn them to Jay immediately because I met him that night and he looked in because that April Wine show. I'm trying to think who it was. Whoever was working sound that night. I want to say it was Warren. Warren was working sound that night, and he recorded my set, and then he gave it a quick mix for me, and chopped it up into tracks, and I put that out on Band. I think it was Bandcamp I put that out on. So I had some material out there, and that's what Jay Smith looked at, and then said, if you ever record anything or you got something going on, let us know, and we'll do they do a feature artist, local artist of the week, and what do they call it? The Spotlight. That's what they call it, 991 Spotlight. And so we did that a couple weeks later, and that kind of got the ball rolling, to be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about how you like getting the ball rolling and everything in your music career. When did you start playing music? Was it when you were younger? How did you get into it?
Yeah, I started playing guitar. I want to say it was about grade 3 or 4, and so I played, constantly from there. I took lessons for a good portion of my life, and then when I got into high school, started playing classical guitar. So played my entire life, and probably started singing about maybe 5-6 years ago, and really wasn't confident. That it's one thing you can get pretty versed at the guitar, but as soon as you throw like a curveball, like starting to sing, you're back down to day one. So there was like not a lot of confidence there when I first started singing, and finally my wife convinced me probably about 3 years ago to get out there. Well, right around the time that I would open up for April Wine, because I want to say that April Wine show is probably the 4th or 5th time singing in public. And so it's the whole kind of being serious about music and the craft of songwriting is pretty new. I'd say about 3-4 years.
Wow, that's incredible. So what was what made you want to start your own thing and kind of pursue music? Like, did you meet a lot of friends in Sarnia that influenced you to kind of like, hey man, you sound awesome? Like,
yeah, I had as far as the music scene in Sarnia goes, like Rick Steves, he does the open mic at Ups and Downs Sunday, and phenomenal singer, phenomenal guitar player, just a great all-around.
Is that musician. Who you learned from, or who did you learn from growing up?
No, actually, I took lessons from Herb Classens and Tom Thompson, both from Wallaceburg. Nice. And but then my parents and aunt and uncle knew Rick Steves their whole lives, and so I would meet him in passing every once in a while, and then I started playing at Ups and Downs on Sunday, open mic. And he'd always accompany me, you know what I mean? If anytime I'd slip up during a song, he was there to kind of keep things on track. And that's, we had a couple of good serious conversations. He said, yeah, maybe you should record something. You don't want to be a cover guy. You don't want to be a jukebox. Then play your own music. And so I got a few tunes recorded in Brantford with a guy named Randy Solsky. And great, really good guy, good producer. He's in a band called Dry County. And he recorded some real solid tracks for me, and they got picked up by Sirius Radio that year. And so it's fresh out of the gate. I had Sirius Radio call,
wow.
And they named in Central Canada. I was one of 3 as that year's top of the country, and I didn't have a band or anything at that point, so I had to kind of put a band together on the fly.
What was that experience like?
It was fun. Just kind of going. I remember I had just recently shot a music video for our song if I could fly away, I'd be gone. And so I asked some of my buddies in the band That Dirty Racket if they'd sit in as my backup band for if nothing else, just the visual for the music video. And then we got talking afterwards, and we thought, well, maybe we should put some shows together and see how that works. And unfortunately, at the time, Trev and Kevin weren't available, but Kel was. So me and Kel kind of kickstarted this thing, had a lot of long, good conversations, and kind of set it out what it was. We were going to give this like a serious go. So we want to treat this like a business and like something we were going to invest in. And so it was a fast start, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Having all the success you did, what were some of the hurdles at the start that you would say you had to kind of overcome?
I think the biggest thing was just going like very fast off the hop and trying to learn on the fly. It was our first year was, we were at Boots and Hearts. We came in the top 2 at Boots and Hearts in all of Canada for their emerging artists. We were on Entertainment Tonight getting interviewed and backstage. We had our like gold wristbands on, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun, but everyone else that we were surrounded with that was kind of at the same stage, they were in year 8 or year 10 of their career and had poured huge money into it. Mm-hmm. And we just, I paid, I think it was $400 to get a song done in Brantford, and boom, there we are.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest hurdle, is just learning on the fly, kind of as we were there.
Mm-hmm. It had to help having guys like Kellen and Trevor who have been in those experiences before and have a lot of experience.
Yeah, and that's what I say to them all the time. I just said that to Trevor the other day. I'm like, you guys have literally played probably 1,000 more shows than I have.
Yeah.
And they heard that. Kellen is, I can tell them all the time, Kellen is, he's irreplaceable. I think if he quit the band, I think I'd probably quit the band too, because we just have that agreement, and he has that knowledge. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of touring when he was with Dead and Divine, and he just gets it. That's the one thing about like the 4 of us now. We've gone through members, and I've had a lot of fun all the way through. Things just don't work out, especially when you're doing things on the fly and trying to create something and trying to create a product and push it as far as you can. You need people that get it, and the 4 of us just get it, which makes things real easy.
Mm-hmm. And it's got to help having a guy like Kevin in there, obviously having all the studio experience and studio to lend to you guys.
Well, and that's what I mean. It's just, that's the other, piece of the puzzle where he gets it. He knows what good gear is. He knows how to use it. Like everything he has, he knows how to use. Mm-hmm. And that just comes with, we're lucky we have 4 adults in the band and 4 guys that are willing to invest their time and knowledge. And that's what they all do. So that's why every show, we just keep getting tighter and tighter, and we keep having more fun.
I absolutely loved watching him work at the station with any sound situation, because he's an absolute magician.
Yeah, and that's just like, we're fortunate enough to do our Christmas show at the beginning of December. Well, actually, it was at the end of November. But
let's talk about that, because that's the 3rd annual one you've done now, right? And you guys raised $2,000 this year. You guys have done it before 2 other years, obviously. That was another picture I dug up from the year before.
That was last year, and then the first year we were at Patty's. So yeah, every year it keeps getting bigger. We keep raising more money, and we were really fortunate to be able to do it this year. And we teamed up with Imperial City Brew House, the new brewery in town, which is my personal favorite. But it was nice to be able to keep it going, to keep raising money. This year we went back to the Inn of the Good Shepherd. Next year, we kind of decide on the fly of who needs the money and how we can best donate it. But we get back to your point with Kevin. There was a lot of kind of up in the air between us and the brewery about how we were going to do the sound, how we were going to make sure it wasn't overpowering, to have like a full production band in there. And Kevin came in and put everybody at ease, because he had the equipment, he has the know-how, and the room sounded great, and the show went off without a hitch.
That's awesome, man. It's great to hear. I was supposed to actually make it, but unfortunately work got in the way, and I gave my seats away to some other people. But Jock Sampson's chiming in online right now. I want y'all to play my theme song next time I'm in Sarnia, Stranger in My House. Oh, he wants you to play it.
You know what? I don't even know if I could, to be honest.
No,
That's one of those that's one of those ones I don't know if I could touch. I wanted to cover it for a long time, but it's honestly one of my favorite songs. I think there's a newer remastered version, and I honestly think it's one of the best produced songs I've ever heard. I love that song. I don't think I could touch it.
yeah. We'll talk a little bit about wrestling after, but we got some other people chiming in here. Boots and Hearts, Oh the Memories, and Nick said, I believe Nick said in here. No, I haven't, but you have, right? Obviously.
Yeah, we played there a couple years ago. We were lucky we got to play on all 3 stages, and it's the craziest place I've ever been. It's insane. We were backstage, and it didn't matter who walked out of the trailer. There was kind of like a sparse little forest, and then a fence on the other side of it, and it was just like drunk, 20-year-olds like blah to the fence, screaming at anybody who was backstage. It was wild. It was definitely fun to be on this side of the backstage area.
I wish I could have been there, but Nick chiming in from Coyote 103, he was there and he said you totally owned the stage at Boots.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I don't. Did we talk to each other at Boots and Hearts? I can't remember, to be honest. That weekend was that we did. I think we did 7 shows in 3 days that weekend. That was probably it was the busiest weekend. But we played Boots and Hearts, I want to say Thursday. Friday we were in Ottawa. Saturday morning back at Boots. Then we went to St. Thomas, Wallaceburg, and then the next day on Sunday we went to we played the Rogers Cup, the final of the Rogers Cup, and then back to Boots and Hearts on the big stage. Yeah, so we played 7 shows in 3 days.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Jock said you would make Millsap proud, so I think you gotta go with it. I actually invited you the other night before you seen the message when I had Jock on. It was about a week ago, actually. It was exactly a week ago because my Rams just actually clinched a playoff spot, and I remember last week I was super disappointed that they lost. So yeah,
you know what? I gotta admit, I seen that message and just ignored it because that was asking me to play "Stranger in My House" on the fly. Aaron was. I'd rather show my butt on camera.
All right, well, let's talk some wrestling now because we obviously met each other at one of my. That would have been my second show ever, and
yeah.
You kind of got into things right after that. I want to say you came. Did you come to the next one in November?
You know what? No, I think the first one that I went to was at River City Vineyard. So that would have been your 4th show.
Was that with Smash?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been in March. Yeah, I think that would have been my 5th show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you did quite a few at the station. I remember that was a cool setup at the station too.
I loved it, man, and I'm so sad it's gone because.
And kind of look down at the ring. I remember standing up there. Actually, I was standing up there talking to Brian White because he had a table up there, and I just got finished playing. Or no, that was before I played. And I remember sitting up there and thinking it was a really cool setup.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember, man. I remember those times like they were yesterday. Those were some of my favorite times, and I'm so thankful that it took me a while to talk Stu into letting the all ages thing happen, just because it's a bar and they usually have older crowds there, and just with what it was with the wrestling and everything, I'm really glad he did because I don't think it would have grown to what it is and really what it was back then. It was some great times at the Station Music Hall, and I have to give a shout out to the Leaky Tank who sponsored me all through those times. It was really tough to bring wrestling to Sarnia at the start, and those shows working with Smash and Destiny. I said it the other day on my show. I'm so thankful for all that knowledge and everything I learned throughout that process, because I don't think I'd be where I was, and I don't think I'd have the support I did if I didn't have all that knowledge I learned from George and Sebastian at Smash.
Yeah, well, and you know what, and that's the thing is, even if you look, the crowd. I mean, we talk about it at work all the time. We always pump Chem Valley Wrestling at
and that's another thing we got to talk about is your work, because let's backpedal a little bit before we go into the wrestling, because you out of high school you were a musician. Did you think you were going to be a musician all the way?
No.
So and after school, did you go to school or high school? Did you go to school?
Yeah, I went to Anthem for lawn security, and then I got into surveillance with the OLG and did that for about 7 years, and then just quit to go back to be a barber. And,
yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you
so
went
that
to
was probably
secure.
around 2000. I think 2012. I quit the casino, and
Oh,
then started
wow.
going back to school. So yeah, I've been doing it for yeah, well, I guess 8 years now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but it's been 8 years, and yeah, I mean, barbering is the best. It's a great career. Love working at Franco's. We're like a family there, and then it also allows for the flexible schedule to do the music and to tour. And oh yeah, where'd you get that? Let me look at that picture. Oh yeah, that was my birthday last year. I had to wear that hat again this year, but
That's
now
awesome.
there's plastic dividing every chair and all the
Yeah.
COVID stuff. So it's tough to make to do pictures like that now. But yeah, it's a blast. I love my job, my day job, and love being able to do the music. I mean, it's especially when we're going during the season, it's usually 5-6 nights a week till probably 1-2 in the morning, whether it's
Mhm.
at Chem's or just at home, doing emails and that stuff. But it's a blast because you don't know how long it's going to last for, and while it's fun, you got to keep going, right?
That's right. And I mean, like, hey, you found yourself in a crazy situation last year. Like, uh, first of all, like, when did you discover Blackberry Smoke? And like,
I
have
remember,
you have you always been a Smoke fan?
yeah, probably I've heard of them probably, I want to say for about 10 years or so.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine went and seen him in concert and kept sending me videos, and then started sending me links to different tunes, and really kind of hooked me in. And it was just neat because that was around the time when I was starting to, play a lot more, kind of play my style, and starting to tinker around with like doing some songwriting and singing. And it was cool to see guys that play, they're not reinventing the wheel. It's just old school Southern rock. They're just sticking to the bare bones, and that's all you need. And it's neat to see that has huge success because they're unbelievably successful. They're in television shows, movies. They tour any country and people know who they are, come out to see them. And it's just cool as hell to see that happening to a band, a Southern rock band in 2020. So to see that, say 7-8 years ago was hugely influential on my music. And it was neat to this past year actually be able to go out on tour with them and play a couple dates.
First of all, how did that experience come about?
It just, our agent called and said, this might, kind of sit down. I don't want to alarm you, but this might be a possibility. And I told him, I'm like, you make this happen and I will be forever in your debt, because they're the Beatles to me.
Did he know before, like your agent?
Yeah.
And first of all, like talking your agency, like I think this is like when you made the announcement that you were signed to Feldman, that was a point in time where I was like, really, whoa. I remember messaging you that day and I was like, man, congratulations. That's absolutely huge for Sarnia. Like they're an agent. What kind of, like, name some bands that are signed to Feldman for the people listening.
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, it was cool. I always loved being on their list because I'm right under Corey Hart, right? Cory Mitchell,
Yeah.
Corey. But yeah, I mean, there's some huge names on them. John.
Because I remember when I worked at the station, that was the name that they were always. That was who we were booking bands through.
Yeah, Bare Naked Ladies. Like, there's a lot of really good Canadian acts signed to them. But yeah, so we started working with Chris, our agent, a couple years back, and now in the midst of all this, there's been, I don't know the word, furlough or what, I don't even know what that means, but more or less, there's no work for agents right now. If your business is booking shows and you can't have shows, and it's kind of, it's a bad time for agencies. But Chris, this happened just before everyone went to lockdown and the whole COVID pandemic. Chris called us up and he said to me, he said, don't get your hopes up, but this is on the table.
Yeah.
Picking up the Canadian dates with Blackberry Smoke. And then, just with them being an American band and coming up here, it kind of, I want to say wires get crossed, but it's tougher than people think to just, snap your fingers and make things happen. So I got the phone call, I think it was a Tuesday at about noon. And Chris called and said, it's a go. The only thing is that they need you earlier than they thought. They want you to pick up their show in Montreal, and which was the next night. So we had to be in Montreal for noon the next day. So all 4 of us kind of dropped everything we were doing, rented the van, U-Haul, packed it all up, and smoked it to Montreal. And, you know, it was cool because just like that, you know, within the blink of an eye, we were backstage, and they rolled out the big, you know, the big road cases with Blackberry Smoke painted on the side. Oh man, Aaron, it was so cool. Yeah.
And I was looking online at some of the videos. Kind of ironic. One of the venues you guys played at, I think it was Corona Theater or something.
Yeah. The first night we were playing at the Corona, and Charlie Starr, the lead singer, Blackberry Smoke, they're from Georgia, so he's got his real thick accent. He comes out and he said, "Is this right? I'm playing at the Corona Theater right now." And he just shook his head, and I think he said some expletives. But yeah, it was weird. It was a weird time. I know they were really. You know, they were worried about what was going on, being from the States, and, you know, getting the news that the borders were locking down and all that. I imagine it was real stress. Actually, it was neat because I think it was Forbes magazine did a huge article on kind of the last days of the tour, because even like the province of Quebec, we played the last show there because it was a Wednesday night, you know, so there's not a lot going on, and it got locked down right after our show. So, you know, that this Forbes article kind of talked about all that, and then, you know, moving through Ontario and then finally getting back to the States.
What was that like?
Well, it was neat. It was neat. I mean, you know, looking back, like I wish we could have finished the dates with them, but it was, you know, it was neat to be on the road and smoking it from Montreal to Ottawa, and then having to, you know, get up the next day. And we were on the road playing in Kitchener the next night, and on the way, that's when everything got shut down. But it was a wild experience, man. You know, we had the news on, and everyone was kind of had their cell phones streaming a different news outlet, trying to figure out what was going on. And my wife's messaging me that, you know, the schools are shut down, and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And
did you get to meet Charlie or any of the guys?
What's that?
Did you get to meet any of the guys from Blackberry Smoke?
Oh yeah. You know, super nice guys, all down to earth. Britt Turner, their drummer, all of them, I should say, but the Turner brothers, huge car guys, so we hit it off right away. And their merch guy, he huge wrestling fan. I showed up the first day with my Stone Cold shirt on, and he came up to right away and shook my hand, and we started shooting the breeze about wrestling. And I want to say he managed a promotion down in the States somewhere. And
that's awesome.
We're Facebook friends now, and it's neat because he's always posting old wrestling pictures and talking about wrestling. So yeah, you know, there's another segue, Aaron. There's always a wrestling fan around. But you know what? Those 2 shows we got to play with them, yeah, they were probably the 2 best shows of my entire life. I don't know if anything will top it, because it was legitimately a dream come true for me, which is cool. So. And
what were the crowds like? Have you ever played in front of crowds like that before? Or?
You know what? It taught me, and I say it to guys all the time, and it sounds really cliche, but like, those shows really changed me in the sense that, you know, we'd been playing Boots and Hearts, and we've been playing all these.
Because yeah, those crowds aren't going to be like a Boots and Hearts crowd.
No, they're not. And the difference is, and don't get me wrong, that's, you know, it's cool to play in front of thousands of people and that, but there's something when you play for, you know, fans of a band like Blackberry Smoke. They're just those like true blue, middle-aged, ugly as sin.
They're there for the music.
That's a thing, right? And it taught me, it's like, oh man, they don't have to be a certain age demographic. They don't have to dress a certain way. They just got to be good people that come out and want to support you. And that's what we got. We had people buying merch and people coming up being like, hey, can we buy a CD? Like, you got to GoFundMe. Like, is there any way we can support this band? And then, you know, immediately we started getting followers on Instagram and Facebook. And there are people that still comment on every video, every post I make today. And that's in 2 shows. We've got to play 2 shows of them, and it made a huge impact to like creating our fan base. So yeah,
they were amazing.
Yeah, that's the kind of people that we want to target, and that's why, you know, we call ourselves blue collar country music, because we're not farmers, and we're not trying to do the country and western, like walk around in cowboy hats and pretend. We're just tradesmen, and that's who we attract. You know, hardworking men and women of all ages and kind of all classes. And yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome, man. And I think you guys definitely expressed that with your newest single that you released back in the midst of all this, I guess. Was it in May?
Yeah, I think so. May, June. It's all a blur.
It's all blurred together for me at this point, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea when I did it, to be honest, but no, it was that song, Blue Collar Anthem. I wrote that song probably about 2.5 years ago or so, and we've been playing that song right since day one. The original band members, we kind of shaped it all together, and like I said, right from our first gig, BCA was in the set list, and then we got it produced probably about 2 years ago now with Mark Shore up just on the other side of Toronto, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, I want to say it was May, the end of May this year. We finally decided that we're going to release it, even though it's one of those things where, with the environment right now and there are no live shows, it's hard to make money because you just don't make money off streams at the point of the game that we're at. So we rely on, putting a single out, putting a video out, and then shopping it around to festival buyers and county fairs and stuff like that, and booking gigs and making money. And so it was tough to release something, but we decided to throw it out there because it was just so fitting. Even though I didn't, write it about the pandemic and kind of the frontline workers.
Yeah, because we were talking about that before this. Like, you wrote this song, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago?
Yeah, probably 2.5, 3 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how you tied it all into what was going on, and it's really incredible, actually. Like the video and everything. The video, which I'll post in the info after, but if you haven't checked out this video, it's just absolutely incredible. And I got to say, you definitely did a good job of expressing everything you're saying here. Yeah,
thanks, man. That was Troy Shantz.
Okay,
yeah, video and
that's actually Troy's somebody who I want to have on to talk about, because working in the media and stuff, like, it would be, I think we'd have a really good conversation actually in the wrestling realm of things, which I do want to backpedal to now because I don't want to take too much more of your night. But when I was starting out there, he was starting his own blog. It was called Boomtown Mag, I want to say, at the time.
Yeah.
And he came in and shot this. Yeah, he came in and shot this like setup of the ring. And he had the guys like setting up the whole ring. It was like set up to basically the whole like setting up a ring, which was super cool. Like a video of how it's done. And like he was a huge help with me in the beginning, I think, with kind of just getting the wrestling out there to Sarnia.
Yeah, Troy's a great guy. Yeah, you should have him on, Aaron, because he's just so interesting. And yeah, he shot Blue Collar Anthem for us. He'd originally shot my first music video too for If I Could Fly Away, and it was it was one of those things where, I kind of told him my vision, and then he knocked it out of the park. He took over. He was the director, and the finished product was better than what I had in mind. And so we went back to him with Blue Collar Anthem, and same thing. He just knocked it out of the park. Shot it in 4K, which I thought was really cool. Although I don't own anything that's 4K, so I've never seen it. But no, it was just, and he just took the vision and ran with it. And yeah, it turned out really cool.
That's awesome, man. It's great to hear that you're working with people in Sarnia too, and just keeping it here local and everything. Let's talk some wrestling.
Okay.
All right, what were you gonna say there?
Oh, I was just gonna say, about Sarnia. Yeah, there's been so many people in this town that have helped us out, and it's incredible the amount of talent that comes out of this city. And I'll sidetrack you for a minute, Aaron. You're not going to sidetrack me
for sure.
I'll show you. I don't know if you can see up there the first Friday Mike Stevens Living in Sarnia poster. I was lucky enough. Mike shot a music video for one of his new tunes that I got to sing on this summer. We shot the video downtown Sarnia, and it was funny seeing everyone come together in the middle of the pandemic to, be able to shoot a project like that safely. We followed all the guidelines. We had, a little crowd of people that were
this?
No, that was, we played down at the ISO bar. I don't know if I have any pictures from Mike's project.
Okay.
Just because he's not released it yet.
Fair
but
enough.
It was one of those things where it really showed me like how much great talent is in Sarnia. And it was shot, I want to say it was August, maybe maybe the end of July.
Yeah.
But just a great project involving a lot of great people from Sarnia.
That's great to see, man, and I'm great to see you're working with a bunch of different people and collaborating throughout Sarnia.
Yeah, and that one was shot actually. Another segue. That video was shot by Richard Beelan, and another Sarnia guy. He's a professor at the college, and he shot our video for Wild Again, which was the single we released last year. So it was neat to be able to work with them, another Sarnia talent, on another project.
And there's a little bit of there's a story behind the Wild Again video, right?
Yeah, that was one of my clients. Brian approached me a couple years back and asked me to write a song for a little boy named Caden Brown, who was killed, it would be 11 years ago now, in a ATV accident. So that's what we wrote Wild Again about, and got the chance to shoot that video. Richard shot it for us, and it was a great project to work on and put out there.
That's awesome, man. So let's before we end things off here tonight, let's talk a little bit about wrestling, because I don't know if it wasn't for wrestling, other than the station, I guess we wouldn't really know each other as well as we do. We've had some fun journeys, like I was saying earlier. Last year around this time, I think we were on our way to Toronto to see a Destiny event.
Yeah, that was, it's funny because it was either today or yesterday. I was thinking about that. I was going to message you and ask you when the date was that we went. That was a good time, man. That was a great night.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I think I had an Imperial City brew.
Oh yeah. I brought it up. That's right. I forgot about that.
Because that was just like when they were just kind of opening, and I think you had some inside connections, and that was
you're right. That was We went to like the soft open, and I think I brought up 12 beers. Yeah, that was a great night. It's funny because I remember thinking, I'm like, well, every time Destiny has a show, this is what we're gonna do, and then poof, COVID shut her down.
Yeah.
Oh, so where did we go for dinner? The Mandarin, I think.
The Mandarin, yeah.
That's heaven right there.
Yeah, it was a great night, man. We had a great time, and like wrestling in Sarnia. Like once I started this Chem Valley wrestling thing back in October, this crazy idea I had you reach out and tell me that you had my back to support me, which I really appreciate, man, because you're definitely somebody who I always turn to for advice or ask questions, because I know you have a lot of industry insight. So I definitely appreciate that. And let's talk a little bit about Chem Valley Wrestling, because same thing. We were just kind of getting the wheels moving, and then poof.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, because that's, like I said, we talk about it all the time at the shop, but the steam that was picking up, like every show, like that last show that you had at River City of India there, like it was legitimately standing room only, and it kicked ass. And it's just too bad that the wheels just came off. Well, I shouldn't say the wheels didn't come off. The wheels came off everything. So, it's just been put on hold. But no, you know what? That's like I said when we were talking about it at the shop. I love saying to clients, I'm like, you got to come. Like, just bring your kids. It's, there's nothing else like it in town. There's no other options. No. Every time that it comes in, like, the boys love it. Brock's 15 now, Bo's 8, and neither, Bo's into wrestling. Not so much. He was really into it the last couple of years, but he's kind of teetered off a bit. But wrestling fan or not, people come out because it's so entertaining, man. It's such a great night out with your kids, and even my wife will come out. She doesn't like to admit it, but she has a great time.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Like all the support and everything. It's definitely helped me out with growing it here in town. And what's been your favorite memory so far, would you say?
No, you know what? We got to shoot the breeze with Rhino for a while, and I thought that was pretty cool because he was one of, legitimately one of my favorite wrestlers when I was growing up. And so just to be able to shoot the breeze with him, and my wife was pregnant then, so he kind of came over to us. He's like, "Oh, when do you do? Blah blah blah. Congratulations!" And then it was neat because before the match, he came around and he whispered in my ear, and he's like, "We're doing a spot here. Get her out of here. I'll give you the signal, and get your wife out of the way," because he was gonna come over the rope or something. And so we did. We had to get out of the way, and they did a cool spot on the outside. And it was just, that's probably whenever I think about wrestling at the River City, I think about that match. And then Aiden Prince winning the championship, the first ever Chem Valley champion. That was cool.
Yeah.
I doubled down on him, and then he turned his back and turned heel.
I know. I couldn't believe that, and still breaks my heart. But
breaks my heart.
I'm still trying to pull some strings and get him back here and at least take his rematch that he does deserve.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been watching much else wrestling? Any other wrestling lately? Nick, some of the best talent have come to town, which is amazing. Yeah, we've been lucky. We've had some really good talent here. We had like Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, Mick Foley was here with Future Pastimes.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because actually I was just reading this morning that I can't remember what promotion it is, that Brian Pillman Jr. is the
Ohio Valley Wrestling. So I think he had to like relinquish his title because he had too many.
Because he's has spending too much time with AEW and can't kind of commit to it, which is pretty cool because what show was he at?
He was at that show with Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was Aiden's first title defense. He wrestled Brian Pillman Jr. and it blew the roof off the building. And I was so mad because it like we do actually, I think I have it videotaped somewhere, and hopefully we can get that and get it released one day because it was an incredible match.
Yeah.
Aiden, if you're listening out there, man, that was something else.
Yeah. And then to think, you know what I mean? And that's the cool part is like, even when Rhino was there, like I said, my wife was there and, she was laughing when she had to get up and that, but then the next week on Impact, like he shows up and it's neat because there's been so many faces that you brought into town that are still relevant, on the big stage or you've brought on their way to the big stage. And it's just neat to see that, there's good bookings coming to Sarnia and legitimate talent.
Yeah. So Rhino was your favorite, you'd say?
Yeah, probably just because like, you know what I said, you know what I mean? It was neat having him come up and start to shoot the breeze with us. Cause I always looked up to him when I was a kid watching wrestling.
What about actually the interesting thing about Aiden Prince and Cody Deaner is those two guys are the only two guys to wrestle with all three promotions in Sarnia. So
really?
on my first show, and Aiden actually wasn't supposed to be on my very first show at the station back in July 8th of 2007. I think it was 2017 when MVP was here. He was like a last minute replacement. And I remember he showed up. He was like one of the first guys to show up to the building, and he was one of the first guys I met. And like, just such a nice guy, man. And like to see him win the Chem Valley Wrestling Championship at that Destiny show, and then just go on to beat Brian Pillman Jr. And then obviously took, I think, all of Sarnia by surprise with what he did in the Cody Deaner match. But yeah, man. The last show was really good too. I had a lot of fun at that one. I think that was one of the ones that I felt I walked away feeling the most accomplished.
Oh yeah, that last show as a whole was pretty good because like Kellen came out to it, all the guys from work came out to it, and it was just great. We just laughed our asses off, and there's so many good spots, man. So many good matches. That was the contract on a pole match. Like, so much good stuff, man.
Which I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but that ended up just totally blowing my expectations for that match. And that was awesome.
I think my phone is, hang on, I gotta look at something. My phone was at 51% and now it's at 4%. So
that's all right.
I disappear suddenly. It's
all right. You know what? I don't want to take too much more of your time tonight. We're having a great talk. Let's just
man. Let's just talk. And then I'll just cut out cold.
All right, perfect. Let's talk about some of your plans before you do cut out cold, though. For 2021, obviously, as we're in the third day here and day number 9 of lockdown in Ontario. Are you really doing much through the lockdown, music-wise, or are you just kind of relaxing, enjoying the time off with the family?
Yeah, to be honest, I got a little guy here at home, and he's 15 months old, and I got an 8-year-old son and a 15-year-old son.
Otis.
And I'm just enjoying time at home with the family. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of music, just kind of correspondence through the band and maybe doing some rough tracking on our own. But, I mean, we're going to be smart about this. And we've talked to the guys. And, we're not, mingling in between households and that. We'll do our part. And like I said, it's just a month. It's a good time to recharge. And, I'm really trying to stay positive this lockdown. I was locked down for 3 months. before from work.
I think that's what you got to do, is just be positive, like take the positives you can out of everything.
Well, I spent a lot of time stressing about it, and that didn't fix it. That didn't change the pandemic in the least bit. So this time I'm just looking at it as a month off work to spend time with the family, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
That's perfect, man. That's great to hear, and it's great to see all you're doing, like that Christmas song, the Otis Redding cover.
Yeah,
that was awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit about that. How'd that come about?
We just decided we wanted to do something. At our first Christmas show, we arranged like an old Christmas song, and it was a lot of fun, and knew we wanted to do it again this year, and we produced it ourselves.
Is that who Otis is named after?
No. It's funny. People ask me that, but yeah, my son's name Otis, but it's just a name we liked. I'd say I'm an Otis Redding fan, but I'm not too well versed in his music. But
fair enough.
It was neat though when this Christmas tune kind of got tabled and seen it was by Otis Redding, and we did the video ourselves. My buddy Phil Babby shot it, and then me and him sat down and spent a few nights kind of going over all the different takes and that, and piecing together. And it was a lot of fun. So we'll probably do something like that next year. And this year coming up, I should say we'll do something like that this year. Yeah, not next year. But yeah, we want to record a lot of new music, and it's still up in the air, what concerts are going to look like, and if there's going to be a lot of live music. So we're really going to kind of set ourselves up to have some good online content and kind of do things our way. Like we tried to do a couple live stream shows and playing, kind of different quarantine COVID online, and it's just not us. Like it's just hard to get into it without a live crowd. So we're going to do a lot more videos, kind of like the Merry Christmas Baby, and do a couple covers, or just
send up a Thunderdome, Cory James Mitchell Thunderdome.
Yeah, could you imagine? Even that, man, I hate the Thunderdome. Do you like the Thunderdome?
No, not at all. I don't think I've voiced my opinion a lot on it, and it's been really tough without fans for me. Like AEW, I've been getting back into AEW the last bit, obviously, because they have fans there, and I have been enjoying that quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Like even watching Survivor Series and seeing the Undertaker's big exit. Did you see that? Did you watch the Undertaker?
No, I didn't see it. No.
I felt so bad because
I thought the 4 other times it happened.
Yeah, but it would have been just so cool with just a live crowd there, and it just feels so, I don't know. It feels too futuristic and super clean. I don't like it.
I hear that. Looks like we have a guest joining us now.
Oh yeah, this is Sonny. He couldn't help it. I don't know if you heard him kind of farting and.
I see the Hulk Hogan there figure in the background. You're a big collector, eh?
Oh yeah, man. I wish my phone wasn't dying. Hang on, I'm gonna turn my What am I doing now? Oh, I'm at 2% air.
That's all right. You know what? We'll see if you can get anything in here, but we'll wrap things up, and that's awesome. That's the Holy Grail. Like you just got that one, right?
That is, yeah. I just got that actually for Christmas. That was my birthday present to myself. 1985 LJN 16-inch.
That's
incredible. And it's
mint.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I got a collection. I don't know if you can see. There's my WrestleMania arcade, and then some of my action figures. But yeah, it's something I enjoy doing and love wrestling and love music.
That's awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you joining me here tonight. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Save a little bit of your phone juice. And like I said, thanks. I really appreciate you joining me, taking some time out of your day. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Sounds good, man. Good talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, we'll definitely do it again sometime.
Hey, okay, listen, I'm going to go on record right now and I'll say this. I guarantee that I will play Jock Sampson's theme song live the first time he defends as Chem Valley heavyweight champion of the world. You got that?
I got that. I heard that. I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that too and send it to Jock right after the show.
Yeah, do it because he doesn't know, but I can cut a promo too. So listen here, son. The night you're wearing that strap is the night I'll be throwing the strap over my shoulder to my guitar and playing "Stranger in My House." live in front of a capacity crowd at River City Vineyard or a location to be determined. Chem Valley Wrestling.
Yes. Thanks so much, Cory. You're the man. I appreciate it. We'll catch up again sometime. Hopefully I can come over and play that arcade, and we can have some more Imperial City brews.
Yeah, only if you wear a mask and
of course.
Let me take your temperature.
Oh, of course. Obviously, yeah. I mean, after all of this, of course, I wouldn't. I'm responsible. I'm day number 9 here of the lockdown, and I'm going to be doing an interview every day. So
sounds good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, Cory.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
All right, so that was Cory James Mitchell joining me here on the Chem Valley Show, episode number 9, lockdown day number 9. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. If you like what you're seeing, go over to our YouTube channel, give us a subscribe, and everyone just stay safe and be nice to each other. Stay positive. Have a great day.